All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Get Growing live weekly work session. I am Coach Ashley coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, where it is finally really beautiful outside. Where are you guys coming in from? Go ahead and pop over into the chat. Let me know where in the world you are. I want to let you guys know that today, if you didn't get the email already, if you didn't get the memo, today is a special session. Every other week, we like to really go in depth on topics. We don't want to really, go nuts with like, here's a really in-depth thing every single week, because we want to give you a breather and give you some time and space to implement what you learn. And I'm going to talk about this point and why we do that and how the philosophy around that can help you here shortly. But not to go too far off topic, today we are doing a live office hour call. So this means that you can come here and ask questions, and we will do our best, or I will do my best. I don't know if Greg is going to be able to pop in today. He and Amanda and their family are off at a wedding this week. So if he's able to come in, then he might. But anyway, we got me here today. If you've got marketing questions, especially, I am here to help you with that. If you want walkthroughs of things in the system, that's something we can talk about as well. I've already received a couple of really good questions that I want to touch on that I received via email. But if you have questions, if there's something that you've got a challenge with today, pop that into the chat or over into the Q&A box here on our live call, and I'm going to do my best to cover that for you. Hello from finally sunny Michigan. Yeah, I hear you on the finally, right? Oh, 22 inches of snow still in South Dakota in late May. It's almost June, you guys. This is nuts. Well, I hope it warms up for you very quickly there, Melissa. Well, you guys, so today I want to kick this off with a really important question, actually. And this is something that I think we all need to take a moment and address, okay? How many of you have ever felt, just a quick show of hands, how many of you ever felt when it comes to getting your business off the ground or just keeping it going or just seeing the goal that you have in mind for your business, how many of you get overwhelmed? You set out to learn something new. Gets a little crazy, right? Especially when we're talking about, this bridging of what's often a new business, right, with technology. This is one industry where you really get to make it up however you want it to be. You get to design a business of your dreams, a business of your choice. And when you have all of the choices in the world out in front of you, what happens? See, this is something that happens. This is a very true thing that happens in marketing and sales, where you provide someone with multiple options or too many options. Choices don't usually get made, right? We usually stall. We're deer in the headlights, right? We don't make choices when we have too many. We get overwhelmed with them. So what we really, yes, use shiny things, of course. What we want to make sure that we do is keep a clear path. So I'm going to bring up an email real quick, and I'm going to read this off to you guys, because I just thought that this was the best question. All right, so this is from Diana. And she says, and you guys, this sounds so simple, but it's not. I would like to learn how to learn. I watched a couple of videos and get overwhelmed. I feel like I need my hand held step by step. All right, I'm gonna take our hands down. How many of you have felt like her? Yep. All of us, right? All right, so how to learn. I want to talk about this for a minute. This is really important. So how many of you are seasoned internet marketers? Anybody? Pro level, you were doing this before you got into Young Living? Yeah, didn't think so. Listen, I wasn't before I got into my first network marketing business either. It was something that I developed over time. And truth be told, it's something that I'm still growing in. One of the things that you need to know about the magnitude of the world you're stepping into if you're looking to grow your business online is that this is an ever-evolving space, and it's an ever-revolving door of experts. Technology changes at the blink of an eye, actually faster than a blink of an eye. So understand that it's always going to be moving fast. And so long as you have set a course for yourself and you stay on it, you're going to be just fine. So I want to talk with you guys about a couple of things, because I know that a lot of us arrive at, maybe a later stage in our life or a later stage in our career path in this industry or in, with Young Living, right? You discover the products and you kind of fall into an accidental business. right? You didn't come out of college and say, or come out of high school and say, I'm going to start a career in network marketing. Nobody does that, right? Unless you were blessed enough to have had your parents be successful in the industry and they tell you, well, this is what you're going to do, and you do it, right? I've known a couple of people who've done that, to be fair. But here's the thing. We go through life and we learn the things that we're told we need to, right? We go to college. Maybe we pursue passions. Maybe we do enough to get by, right? And then we come to a point in our life where we see that maybe something more is possible for us and we want it. What we want to make sure that we keep in mind always is the reason why we want that more, the reason why we believe there's something more for us, the reason why we see something greater for ourselves and our impact on the world. If you can keep that vision in your mind, if you can surround yourself in your mind and in your thoughts and the things that you consume, such as, cutting off negative sources of energy in your life, like a lot of television, news media, and a lot of social media too, to be fair. If we can fill our life with things that inspire us and move us toward growth, we foster an environment that allows us to expand, right? Our minds expand to fit what we seek to put in them, right? So we can expand our capacity for growth by seeing a goal that we want for ourselves, remaining focused on it, and nurturing the environment for ourselves in our minds and in our lives in which we can achieve that thing. Now, I know that doesn't answer your question about overwhelm. It's a big topic, right? That perspective is a really important thing to hold if you don't want to get overwhelmed. The next thing that you need to know is that this is a step-by-step process. You are not going to be at the realization of that goal tomorrow. We're not going to decide it and blink our eyes and then suddenly we're Royal Crown Diamond, right? We understand there's a process. There are steps, there are leadership levels that we need to ascend through. We need to become greater, right? So think about it this way. You start getting overwhelmed with something. First, you want to ask yourself, why do you want to learn something new, right? Why do you want to learn how to use the GetOiling system to grow your Young Living business? What brought you here? What were you not seeing yourself being able to do? Is it that you wanted to make sure that you stayed organized and could communicate with more than one person at a time? That you might be able to share information with more people at a time, that you might be able to attract leads to you who want to hear from you instead of you feeling like you have to go out and chase people, right? Those are lots of reasons. So what are your reasons? Remember those. Just like you want to surround yourself with the inspiration, the vision, the things that foster the growth and the healthy environment for you to grow in and expand into, you want to keep that perspective there as well. Why do you want to learn this? It gives you energy, right? And then what will life look like for you once you've got it figured out, right? So once you've got the things that you want working in your GetOiling system, for instance, or just honestly, an even simpler example, learning how to easily, effectively share Young Living, right? That's a difficult thing for most of us, right? So once you figure that out and it's working for you, how will life be different? That's another thing that makes it easier for you to get over the uncomfortable hurdles of doing the things that you got to do to learn, right? Remember what life will be like when you move past this step. It's not a mountain, guys. It's a molehill 99% of the time, okay? So you also want to make sure that you begin with the end in mind. Again, that vision, what's the outcome, and be as specific as possible. So let's just say that you want to be able to have 10 people reaching out to you every day, asking you how they can work with you on transforming their wellness and their future, their life path. You want 10 people reaching out to you every day. That kind of specificity. And that's something that you can achieve by using our system. If you get clear on your vision, on your personal brand, and you start creating content like blog posts, you start syndicating those things out into social media, you start using videos and things like that, and then you've got your whole ecosystem of ways that people can dig deeper, understand you better, not one-on-one, but one-to-many all at once, to where you could absolutely get 10 people reaching out to you every day asking you, what is your secret? Please tell me more, right? So be specific if that's the end that you have in mind. Then you start making your plan. You start working backwards. You say, okay, what are the milestones? So some of the things that I need to have in place are a funnel that introduces prospects to essential oils, perhaps, or to your own perspective on essential oils. So there's a project. And so now you have a thing that you write down, and that is a stepping stone. It's not a mountain, it's a molehill, right? You have maybe daily blogging or monthly newsletters. Those are stepping stones, not mountains, molehills. And so what you do, and literally do this, like chart your path out. Okay, my goal is to get this thing done, and then get this thing done, and then get this thing done. And then you do one thing at a time, right? You figure out how you're going to write a newsletter, or you break down the body of information that you would use to teach a class. It's very simple when you let it be simple. See, the thing is, guys, if you want to increase your leadership, you want to increase your bank account, you need to increase your value first. And all you have to do to increase your value is to get good at something worth getting good at. So what's something worth getting good at? Getting really, really good at sharing Young Living, right? That's the most important thing you guys can go out and do for your business every single day. So then you look at a tool or set of tools, an ecosystem of tools like GetOiling, and you start observing the ways that GetOiling can support you successfully sharing Young Living more frequently, doing that with things like campaigns. So don't go and create, a campaign and a follow-up plan and a newsletter, and don't say that I'm going to do all those things this week. Just break them up over time, stepping stones on the path. Let them be molehills, not mountains. And then, yeah, guys, most importantly, just do one thing at a time. There are trainings on everything, literally everything that you can do with our system. And you can do everything with our system to grow your business. Everything that you need, that you would go out and literally, you guys, spend thousands of dollars on elsewhere on the web, for your membership site, for your database of people, for the ability to text and email market, to do everything, to manage everything exactly how you want it. You got a great deal here, right? And this is coming from someone who wished that I had this when I was building my first businesses. All you need to do is focus on one thing at a time and get good at it. Get good at things worth getting good at. Decide what those things are that you want to get good at, commit to one at a time. And where it comes to trainings, when you get overwhelmed with trainings, consider for a moment that you might be doing too many of them, right? Training is a waste of your time if you are not immediately going out and implementing what you just learned. Please write that down, all right? The hours you spend on training are hours that turn to dust. They're worth nothing if you don't go out and immediately do something with what you just learned. You can't study up to take a test here. That's not what this is. This is immediate implementation. And the faster you can take what you learn and put it into action, the better life is going to be for you. And the faster you're going to be able to learn and grow. I really hope that helps. Do one thing at a time and keep the big picture in mind. Don't let it overwhelm you. The simplest thing that you need to know is that you need to find the easiest, quickest, most effective way to share Young Living possible, and to go do it as often as possible and get really good at it. And you don't need to have a perfect thing to get started. You could literally start with the Young Living website that you have, or now, of course, if you already are with GetOiling, or if you would like to get started with us for $1 today at GetOiling.com, you immediately, once you put in your Young Living member number, have a beautiful shareable website. Okay, so then you share the website. Get really good at sharing Young Living with whatever tool you have access to, and then start finding ways to make your sharing more effective and to make your sharing more scalable. And of course, to make sure that you're following up with everyone that you're sharing with. If you keep those most important things in mind and just decide as you have time to get trained on a thing, put that thing to use and repeat it before you start going off and getting trained on something else, then you'll be good. And you'll be able to manage your time much more effectively too, right? Does that help you guys? Let me know. All right, let's see. Melissa asks, so what is better, a blog post or a video? The answer, Melissa, is both. You want to do both, actually. And it's very easy to do both. If you're going to go through the trouble of creating a video, you might as well put it on a blog post, and you might as well have a link to that blog post on the video that you share. There is, and I'm not going to get too far into this, there's a thing called search engine optimization. This is something that when I first got started in this business, most people didn't know anything about it unless you were a super tech whiz, right? A lot of you guys know what that is now. It's very common. We live in a world that is really Google centric now. And the thing about blogging and video that's important for you to understand is that search engine optimization, SEO, basically the means by which you can make sure that when someone Googles a thing, you show up on the first page. That's the whole point of SEO. You can hit that from both angles if you both blog and do video. So, and it's very powerful because if you're doing video, you're putting it on YouTube, for instance. You create a YouTube channel like we have, youtube.com/GetOiling. A lot of folks are finding us there now because we take these weekly work sessions and we post them on YouTube, and we use keywords that folks are searching for, who might find our videos valuable. So people who are looking for Young Living websites or Young Living business systems or how to grow Young Living online and things like that, they find us because we are putting valuable information out there. And then we have links underneath our video that point back to our website. So what you would do, for instance, if you wanted to do, let's just say a video series, a 5-part video series on self-care in the springtime, and you want to focus on maybe some of the oils, like maybe in the upcoming, because we're going to see here in about a week what the June PV promos are. You could work some of the oils and stuff in there into a summer series for self-care, and you do 5 videos or 4 videos, once a week for the month of June, right? Let's say that you're going to do that. Go write a blog post on the same topic. You're covering the same stuff. It's just people are going to find you from 2 different directions. And then you actually take the video and put it on the blog post as well. I mean, when you go on Google and you look for something, isn't it so much more effective for you if you're a visual learner or someone who really just likes them to get to the point and you don't want to scroll through and read everything? Isn't it so helpful when you can just hit play and get what you came for? So provide that for people. All right. So, do keep the questions coming. We're here. I think I got a couple over here. Okay, Debbie says, I've never been able to get people to schedule a kit unboxing. Would it be a good idea to do a video on that? Yes, that's a great idea for a video, Debbie. And another thing that you could do with the unboxing is to make it even more digestible. So since we're kind of talking about content right now, it's really important and think about the way you consume content online. Obviously, a webinar like this or some of the training videos that we do for GetOiling are an exception, right? Because most of the time you don't go out and sit for an hour watching a video on the internet, right? So people who are going out and learning about something new, they typically want to fit it into their schedule. So you want to break it down into smaller digestible pieces. So another idea, Debbie, would be to do a video or series of videos on unboxing where it's just quick, right? So you could do hidden blog posts, or you could actually, you could have them published, or you could do a campaign series as well, where you're going over, so today I'm talking about the lemon oil, today I'm talking about thieves, today I'm talking about Ningxia, and so on. And so that way you get a little bit of a deeper dive into each of the products, and people are going to actually consume the entirety of the content. When you start making videos and you get into the metrics and stuff that you can see as a video creator on YouTube, you will actually see that the average watch time on your video is way lower than the actual length of time average on your videos. So making things easy to absorb is really important. But yes, I absolutely do that. It's a great idea. And that's also a perfect example of something that you could do to maximize your time, right? So if you can't get someone to sit down and schedule an unboxing with you, okay, great, here, shoot them a video. And now you've got one thing that teaches the next 1,000 people in your organization who gets a membership, who gets a kit, to, now they do it. And the thing that would normally take you an hour or 45 minutes or 3 hours or whatever, including travel time, you now handle in a second because you invested the time to create one resource that you could send over and over and over again. Perfect example of something that you could do with GetOiling and plug into a system that you don't even really have to think about. Great question. Thank you. All right, Diane. I've learned about many different models to grow this business. There are several beginning decisions I still have not clarified. I struggle with, one, deciding to brand myself as someone who will show my community that I sell Young Living, or not share the company, i.e. share essential oil info and not specify Young Living. Number two, deciding my target market. And number three, deciding my niche. I have many areas of knowledge and interest. Diane, I think that you need to start backwards. You need to work backwards. Just like I mentioned in the beginning. And actually, I don't think you were a part of the personal branding intensive. We actually wrap up that intensive tonight. When we open that up to the public again, it's definitely something that you're going to want to look at. But here's what I would recommend, because I think it would help you a lot. What I would recommend is to ask yourself what the mark is that you want to leave on the world. Like in your core, the things that are most important to you. You know, if $1 billion, if $100 billion, Jeff Bezos just signed his, his bank accounts over to you right now, how would you go out and change the world? It may not have anything to do with essential oils, right? Because you are dynamic and you have lots of interests. And obviously oils and Young Living, these things are in alignment with your interests, but they're not the whole story of you. So if you can get really clear on what your big vision is, and then start working backwards, you can start speaking with vision. You can stop communicating with people in such a way that exposes a gap between who you really know yourself to be and how you're trying to convince them to make a choice that benefits you in the near time, right? Getting them to, get a kit or whatever. What you're doing fundamentally as a practice in this business model, hands down, nothing more, is you are inspiring people to live a better life. You're inspiring people to believe that there is something better for them, whether they're going to get in the business or not, right? The products, inspiring people to invest and using products to invest and ditch and switch, to invest in their education so that they can be informed and empowered and make better decisions for their health. It is your job above all else to inspire people. So if you could get really clear on what inspires you and what leads you in that way, then it becomes very easy to just communicate from that space of this is my bigger self. This is the vision that I have for the world, and I'm walking that way. Do you want to come with me? Right? So that can really kind of help you to get clear on who you're talking to, because once you get clear on what you're about, then the people that are about the same things, they tend to pop up and go, hey, yeah, me too. Yeah, and you link arms together. And that's the beauty of social media and being able to put yourself out there and share your life authentically, is that you will attract, when you're vibrating at that higher level, you will attract people who are of that caliber and who resonate with your vision, and they'll follow along. Now, I would recommend, along the lines of personal branding, that you not put yourself out there as, as Diane Young Living everything, right? You are Diane, multi-passionate, multi-creative individual, right? Or anyone who's here that I'm speaking to right now or watching this later as a recording, you are who you are, and people follow you and people buy Young Living from you, not because of Young Living, because of you, right? So share your passion, share what you know, share the impact you want to make, and get people curious, right? It doesn't mean that you are barred from making any mention of Young Living or any of its, fundamental tenets like seed to seal, and sourcing is so important, right? Like that's absolutely something that you can talk about. You just don't want to be a promotional flag waving banner that is just all Young Living all the time, because people aren't going to come back. They're going to feel like they know the whole story. They don't want to dig, because they're like, okay, well, I mean, you're here to sell me that, and cool, I don't want it right now, so I'm not going to hang out. You want them to hang out. You want them to come back. You want them to see you as a trusted resource who values their time, who wants to improve their life. And once that relationship of trust is built virtually and over with many people, you will get many people coming to you saying, hey, how do I get more of this? How do I work with you? Can you help me pick out what the best thing might be for me? That's when that starts to happen. And that's the environment that you really want to kind of create. So I would ask yourself again, what's your big vision? What's the impact that you want to make on the world? And then start tying the two together, right? Because there's something about the big vision that you have that ties into the possibility that you saw when you got started with this company. And so the space in between there is where you're going to be communicating with people. And Young Living, the opportunity, the product, it's the secret that opened the door for you, right? Think about it that way. And I think that will help you a lot. All right. Need more in-depth information, Talia. There are some changes I want to make to customize my website, but I can't figure out how, and the options aren't in the settings. Tell you what, there are a lot of customization options and ways to go about doing this. If you want, maybe just in the Q&A, type the question to me if there's a specific type of customization that you're looking for. I can help point you in that direction. However, what I can tell you guys is info@getoiling.com. Greg built this system, and he can show you how to do anything. and actually, Talia, maybe what we can do is, and I don't have this planned for today, I will do this in a future session. We have a, yes, Greg is the bomb, I agree. We have a GetOiling community member who built out a custom website using our platform, and they are in Singapore, I believe. And they did just a gorgeous job using a custom page as the home page, using a custom menu on the home page, and then just building out a series of pages. Actually, in the custom homepage that they built looks a lot like our stock one that's very Young Living centric. There's just, I mean, the sky is the limit. And another thing, just for those of you who want to know, if you want to get into higher level, more complicated editing capacity, I believe it's at premium and above, you actually get, like, literally click the button and you can write HTML code. Like, you can embed code there, whether it's code that you want to edit yourself, or if you want to use, like, if you want to take a booking form from like a, you know, to have people book appointments from you from a site like You Can Book Me or Calendly, like you can embed their code on a page. Like, there's a ton you can do here. All right, so to start, Talia, you said you want to embed an image on the header of your main website page. So yeah, that's actually quite simple. Let me pop over, and before I share my screen here, I'm gonna go to log into a different account. All right. Oh no. Okay, tell you what, I'll just do this from Coach Ashley's account, and I'm gonna share this with you real quick. All right, quick pop a hand up. Let me know that you can see the see the back office here. Thank you so much. All right, so under my site, I believe this is under customize my site. Forgive me, you guys, I am not the tech the tech person here. Okay. So you get to pick what goes where. Website theme, customize. There we go. Here it is. All right, so where I went just now, guys, under my site, you go to customize my site. Right here above website theme, you hit customize. And then you can add photos to go to the top carousel. Okay, so this is what, if we go to view my site right now, this is obviously not, this isn't optimized for this, but you can see this is a header on the website, like Talia, like you were talking about. So you want to change, you want to put something up here, you want to change it from this, that is where you go, right here. And he does give you recommendations here on the pixel size. All right. Let me get back over to my questions. All right, good deal, good deal. All right, let me know if you have anything else. I will do my absolute best from a tech perspective to help. All right. All right, so in everything I'm learning, this is from Melissa. So in everything I'm learning, I'm told that in order to make the business duplicatable, that I need to point to resources. But in order to do that, I feel everything is Young Living. How do I make it easier for others to do without everything Young Living advertising? Greg is my hero at answering questions. for the GetOiling community, Melissa, Greg is everybody's hero. It's kind of remarkable how you could start from a website and grow into what we have here. It's pretty cool. All right, so here's an important thing for you to know. What's the best way to put this? The shareable resource that you have should be a Young Living resource. So it could be literally, your Young Living link, like absent the GetOiling platform. It could be your GetOiling site that's, without any customizations, just when you plug it in with your Young Living member number. It's the things that don't need to be shouting Young Living are the things that are leading up to the sharing of Young Living, right? So you want to be able to garner curiosity, garner interest, garner trust, so that people are open when you do share. And when you share, it totally needs to be Young Living, absolutely. And like, that's when you say, this is my big secret. This is the most amazing thing. This has changed my life. Now let's sit down and really look at this. Because people aren't going to be interested in that proposition if they feel like you've already told them 3/4 of the story through everything that you post on social media or on your blog or wherever. Does that make sense? If they feel like they already got most of the story, they're not going to stick around for the rest of it if they feel like they know enough to make up their mind. And in a lot of cases, and this is why we don't, with personal branding for network marketing, the reason why we don't put our company name out there at first and foremost for the majority of cases is because people go to Google, and people who are looking for something negative or a reason to not do something, they're going to go find the negative stuff. Like there's negative stuff out there for whatever reason about Young Living. There are skeptics, and there are literally people who make money off of writing negative stuff about network marketing companies. They write negative stuff so that you'll click the link and then buy the other thing that they're trying to sell you. Like this, there's a sea of this stuff out there, and it's absolute garbage. And what you want to do is provide people the opportunity to really be open when you sit them down and show them this thing that really has changed your life. And it's just, if I could focus in on any particular point, the actions need to be duplicable. The expertise needs to be inside of a resource that you're pointing to. That's duplicable, right? You don't duplicate professorship of essential oils, right? But the other thing that's duplicable, that's important, is that we are enthusiastically sharing our lives and the things that bring us joy to the world, and speaking our truth to the world, and sure, sharing drops, I see what I did there, of information and inspiration and education in such a way to build relationships on scale, so that people who really find you interesting, engaging, and so on will tune in, will come back and say, hey, all right, so tell me more about this thing, right? Awesome. A really good word. I think, do you mean drop there, Randy? All right, we got some more, let's see. Oh, Talia, that works. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tell you what, Jim, I don't have it on me offhand. I would have to take up a good deal of our time today to go and track it down. But what I'll do, and perhaps we'll do this next week, is that we can kind of explore some of the in-depth possibilities of what it looks like to really maximize our customization features. And we'll dedicate an hour to it, so that I can show you, okay, well, here's what they did and here's how you can go do it. So we'll do that next week. Ah, got it. Yes, I agree. I agree with you, Randy, about that. But we're not going to stick around in the negative. Okay, so give me some more questions. I had another one that I want to touch on as well. Let me pull up that email there. Where are you? Oh, this is from you, Jim. Okay, So Jim would like a better understanding of the text chat feature for two-way texting. Got a new phone number, congratulations, that you picked up when you signed up. Why do I have it? How do I use it? Try to chat with a prospect. Okay, I will definitely help break this down for you. But I do need to get into a different account here to do that, because I don't think that my coach Ashley is set up for that. If you give me just a second, I'll open up. And do guys continue with those questions? I am excited to answer them for you. There you are. Okay. All right. Pop a hand up, please. Let me know that you can see this, this demo site. Thank you. Perfect. All right, so let's talk about this. So where you hit chat right here, this is text message chat. This is texting. This is two-way texting. Now, this is what it looks like if you have got a if you've got a chat account put together. This is where you can go back and forth and chat just like you would on Facebook Messenger. But remember, your texting uses marketing credits, and the breakdown of how those work, I'll show you in just a moment. But when you send a message, it is the same price, if you will, cost of marketing credits as a text. So the function of this, while it behaves on desktop or however very similarly to Facebook Messenger or something like that, it is in fact a way to text people individually. So this is the two-way texting feature. So I could send Greg a text right now. Hello from the weekly work session testing. Okay, so I just sent 2 texts. Those cost credits, just so you know. Now, if we were to insert a message, actually, I'm not even sure how we do that here. You might be able to drag and drop here. You can totally put emojis in here, which is a lot of fun. As you can see right up here. Aha. There we go. So when Greg texts back, if he does, then we're actually going to see that up here as a notification. Now, your texting feature, if you have this turned on, oh, there he is. There you go. New text from Greg. Perfect. So as you can see, Greg can respond and we can text back and forth in real time, even though he is probably at a wedding right now or preparing for one. So we're not going to bother him. All right. So when we go to our contact manager, so we go over here to manage under contacts, you can also pick someone who, let's see, I don't know if any of these have a phone number in there. There we go. We'll do that one. We'll select that one. And then we can choose to text that person. Oops. Also make sure that you only do the selected contact when you text them. So here's where, if you want to send a picture to someone, you can choose an image and upload it. Now, remember, when you upload with an image and you send a mixed media message, an MMS, as opposed to an SMS, which is just a text, it's going to take up more credits. Now, where we differ in this feature, as opposed to say Project Broadcast, which a lot of you I know are familiar with, which is a separate service entirely that doesn't have the full feature set that GetOiling has, is it where their marketing credits are concerned, with every message that you send, whether it has a picture or not, it equates to basically having sent a picture each time. So you can send a ton of text messages that are just text without images, as opposed to you send fewer with images. Just because it costs more, that's not really something we can change, and it's pretty standard across the board. So you can add an image or not. You have a 1600 character max. There is a character limit before it breaks up into different texts. So I'm just gonna, here we go. So there's 3 characters, 15 credits per recipient message, 15 total credits for one contact. And then I'm going to add more and just see we'll see what how many you'll actually see this, and you can play around with this yourself. It'll actually tell you when you have gone over, and it's going to break up into additional ones, I believe, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We have another we have another training on this. As I told you guys, I'm not the techie one. This will break up into multiple messages. I recommend anyway with text messages that you keep it short. Nobody wants to read a novel of a text message. One of the best things that you can do with text messaging, you could certainly send an image if you really wanted to kind of set things apart, and to disrupt a little bit more, if you will. But what I would do is to send a short message and then a link. And then, you know, put whatever here. So that way you're sending them to something else, right? So if you wanted to have a series where you're teaching, okay, so like the unboxing series where you're talking about, you know, okay, today we're talking about lemon, tomorrow lavender, and so on. Maybe you've got a custom page that you're linking to right here where you're talking about it. That would be an ideal thing to do if you want to manage it that way. Okay, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. But then another way that you can use the messages is if you go under settings and you create campaigns, you can actually create a new campaign and make it a text campaign. You can give it a text in keyword. So if you want to, you know, say you want to make the text in keyword starter kit, and this will be the unboxing of PSK. And then you put your name in. This is John L. It's John L's account. If you want to make this specific, I'm not entirely sure. There's offhand, I don't know all of the information about the fine print about the texting. But anyway, so you can have them go out daily. So if you wanted to have it one day at a time, or if you wanted, you know, a string of messages that go out over the course of minutes, you select that, you create your campaign, and then it's going to take you to where you can write your messages. Here's a text message. If you send it by text, you can put that here. You could add your image here. And then once you've done that and you have that campaign created, then you can assign that to others. People can text in for it, and so on. Jim, if you have any questions on this and around the ways that you might use it, please let me know, and I'm happy to provide any clarification while we're still here, and I hope that that helped you. Okay. Back to our questions. Okay. Anybody have any others, or would you like any more clarification around any of the things that we've talked about so far? You have my time here, and I am happy to help you guys in any way that I can. Talia, if you're looking for any other, you know, any other more specific changes you want to put on your site, happy to help you with that too. Yeah, really appreciate you guys. Glad that you're here today, and I love these types of Q&A sessions where we can just kind of be open and talk. You know, another thing, oh, you know what? Important thing. This is going back to the very first thing that I talked about on our call today. If you get overwhelmed, obviously the first thing that you need to remember is that this is a process, and you're going to do one step at a time, and there's really no way around that. There's no shortcut. You're going to have to learn. And is it worth it? Yes, of course it's worth it. It's going to help you get to where you want to go, which is you in a bigger, expansive capacity in terms of the potential for your life, for your impact, for your income, and your wellness, and so on. So I want to point you guys over to a very important resource that exists, that if you are basic and above in GetOiling, you have access to this. Let's see. So I believe it is under my account settings. Right here. Right here, you guys, right down here in the corner, Destined for Diamond. This is a 30-day training program. It goes into your email. It sends you an email per day for 30 days. Actually, it's 2 days on, 1 day off for 30 days. Because again, the idea here is implementation. So we're going to hit sign up now, and now this account has been set up for Destined for Diamond. So what's going to happen in Destined for Diamond is it's literally going to hold your hand. The system is going to hold your hand. So it's going to tell you, okay, day one, here's what you're going to do. Here's the things that you need to know, a training that we can point to, if it's supplementary or necessary. And then the next day, there's an action step to take. So for 30 days, if you can just follow the instructions that are set up and allow yourself to see cumulative results by actually implementing the thing that's being taught. So every 3 days, you're going to implement something. It's not too bad, right? And these are all pretty simple baby steps. So if you can do that, then you can master this stuff in 30 days. All right. All right, Talia, I want to add a calendar or appointment option. Like what you said is that only premium and up. You could always link off to a third-party service by embedding a URL. You know, if you want to use the URL, if you use You Can Book Me, for instance, they have like a free plan level, and your booking form is there, and they give you a URL for it, right? If you're not at premium, so that you can actually embed and make a beautiful thing on your GetOiling site. If that's not where you're at right now, they can just, you can actually on the button on a custom page, you can change the URL to the one for that booking service. So it just goes off site. It doesn't keep it all on your URL anymore. But yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. Okay, Melissa, great question. What would you say is the most effective way to bring people to your site and ideally your funnel aside from face-to-face? Couple of ways. Number one, you want to have a really compelling, inspiring story about your vision and where you're headed in the about section of your website, in the about section of your social media accounts. And you need to be creating content on a regular basis and going out and having that content reach people that you don't know yet, right? Or that you haven't had a conversation with, or, you know, that you're just, you know, Facebook friends with. You want to be out there. The idea of branding yourself is really kind of repeating the process that big brands that do have to create these, you know, these existential structures have to do. All a brand is an entity that shows up in the same place consistently, doing the same things and behaving the same way. And so you, as a personal brand, showing up with your vision and putting yourself out there consistently, this could simply, I mean, you could be sharing quotes, right? You could be sharing inspirational quotes and then maybe a picture of you out, you know, doing something fun, you know, talking about your vision, talking about how you believe that better things are out there, you know, whatever it is for you, right? Or it could be something that's more informative, more practical. You could be a DIY diva and you like to share recipes. You like to share how-tos. Consistently sharing that stuff so that other people can see it, so that other people can benefit. And then when they're like, well, who is this person? Who is this Melissa? And they go over and they look at your bio section and they're like, wow. And then the link to your site is in that bio. They're like, yeah, wow. And they're going to go there and check it out. You can also put it at the bottom. So you can put the link to your lead magnet, to your funnel, your lead magnet being the thing that makes people want to click and go give you their email address. You can put that at the bottom of blog posts. You can put it at the bottom of videos. You can put it in posts where you share quotes and inspirational stories. You can put it in the about section of your social profiles. You can put it in the signature area of your emails, so it's just there when you're conversing with people normally. You can put it at the bottom of a business card when you're out meeting people face to face. Take them off the out of online and out of offline and into online. Lot of ways that you can do that. But if you're showing up consistently and that link is available for them to click and you are providing compelling enough information for them to want to dig further, those, like, the act of someone going and finding that link is self-selecting. But in the beginning, before you start getting that organic momentum, that growth, you want to actually direct people to it. So this is where you're prospecting and you're asking people questions that lead to, well, hey, let me share this with you. Let me show you this thing. Here's the link. Go click it and put in your email. You have to direct people manually at first while you are continually building up the value that naturally drives people toward that thing, your website, your funnel, and so on. Okay. Diane, I'm not entirely sure. I think that it can be, we may need to do that on the back end. Tell you what, send an email to info@getoiling.com and let us know that you would like to have the sequence restarted. And I think that we should be able to figure out how to do that. All right, Jim says, I wanted to send several texts to promote the new premium starter kit promo for the rest of May, adding in Thieves Cleaner and the spray bottle. What would be the best way to get this done? What I would recommend, Jim, is, because we're talking about just the next, what have we got, like a week and some change? So I would create a piece of content. I would create some kind of an asset. So in the form of a blog post where you write about one or several of these things that you're promoting, or create a custom page. And on your custom page, and here I'll pop over and show you what that looks like. So back over here on this site, when we go to my site, settings, go to custom pages. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna create a new page. All right, so you have a, I would use this one, product info. We could call this May PV promos. Get them while you can. Change this one out to a picture of Thieves Cleaner and write about it. Change this one out to the spray bottle and write about it. Have the links there, or have a single link that goes off. And then the link that you create here from this, obviously you're going to want to go to settings, give it a name, May PV promos. So now when you save this and you view it, you grab this link, and then we're going to go back over. And if we want to do this just in a single email, what I would do is actually, I'd create a campaign. That way you can duplicate it and do it again next month, right? Because you could make this a one-off thing, but I would make this a system for you. So go to settings under contacts, create a new campaign. And let me see, I think I already created one here and showing you guys that. There we go, this was starter kit. So let me edit the campaign details. We're actually gonna call this PV promo, May PV promo. And you don't need to have this text and keyword. We'll put this here just because. We're gonna hit save changes. And now I'm going to go back to campaigns. There it is. I'm going to write a new message. And let's see, get them, oops, let's not do this in all text. Get them while you can, and then paste the link. Now this is going to automatically shorten this. All right. If you want to add an image here, you can. And then we're going to hit add, oops. Yeah, oh, that's good. Is it going to let me do it? Oh. Oh yeah, you need to do the subject for you. So, okay, sorry about that. So you hit add message. And now what you want to do is under contacts, you're going to go to manage. You're going to, let me reset those filters. You're going to pick, I have 227 contacts here. If I want to send it to all of them, I'm going to go right here to all contacts and hit text, say okay. So send a text to 227 contacts. Oops, sorry about that. I'm doing this wrong. All right. So we're going to, with the action, we're not going to hit send text. We're going to add a campaign to them. And now it's going to show you the campaign options. And you remember that May PV promo that we just did? We're going to pop that right here. And then we're going to hit apply. Now, when we hit apply, that text is automatically going to send out to all 227 contacts, right? And it's going to go to this page when they click the link. And now, when you get the June promos, all you have to do to repeat this is to go to settings, go to campaigns, go to May PV promo and copy it and call it June PV promo. And then you repeat the process. All right. I hope that that helped. All right, so Jim says, I see where long links are made short. How is it done? The system does that automatically. You don't have to worry about it. If you wanted to use a link shortener, you could, but that's just duplicating effort. It's going to do it for you anyway. All right. Diane asks, do you recommend one Facebook page, personal or business? So when you're first getting started, absolutely use your personal page, because all you're doing is sharing more of who you are, right? And you're doing that and connecting and inspiring people who you're already connected to and who know you. So what better place to start than right at home? Now, when you start getting into creating content like blogs and videos and so on, you want to start putting that over onto a business page. But don't just put a business page up because you think you need one, right? Use a business page as a syndication tool, as a means to reach more people and to show up in more places. It's a branding function. You can eventually, with scale, get into, you know, paid promotions and stuff like that if you want to, but you don't need it to start. But when you start making video and blog content and putting those onto your GetOiling site and onto YouTube, that's a place you want to share it consistently. So, so the answer is yes, both, but not necessarily at the same time, or the second one, the business page, right away. All right. If you're using your PB number, you can't use shortened URLs. It is different when you use. Yes. So yeah, like just use the link. If you're going to put a link into a text campaign or just a text message in GetOiling, just use the full link. It's going to shorten it for you automatically. You don't have to worry about it. There are text services who are not fond of you using like bit.ly and links like that. Even social media is funny about that too sometimes. So you don't even have to think about it with us. Just plug the URL in and it's going to shrink it down, and it doesn't count against your number of characters. All right, let me see if I've got a poof, mind blown. Awesome, Melissa, was that about the duplicating the campaigns? I think we showed a couple, yeah, it was. We showed like a month ago or a couple months ago how to create newsletters. That's another thing that you can do, and that was an email newsletter using the saved replies feature in GetOiling. That's another thing you can do. But if you want to text it out too, then create basically do your newsletter on a custom page and then text it out to everyone. And instead of, you know, having to come up with an image and worrying about whether or not you got enough credits to send it out to everybody with an image, like just send a link to them. Obviously use some text first, you know, so hey, the promos are here, get them while you can, and then send them to the custom page, right? All right, let me see if we've got any more questions here before we go. Jim, this training will be available on YouTube. It's usually by late afternoon on the same day, provided that there aren't any issues. It downloads locally and then has to be uploaded and everything. But we will send an email out with the replay just as soon as it's available. And if you go to youtube.com/GetOiling, you can subscribe to us and get notified when our new videos are uploaded. And so you can even get that notification there as well. Awesome. Hey, while we're here, you guys, do you have anything on your wish list that you would like to learn? Anything that, you know, you see as a stepping stone in your future path of growth with getting yourself online, attracting people to you? What kinds of things do you want to learn how to do to grow your business? Let us know. If you're here and you want to share it, I would definitely like to see it. And of course, when you are watching this as a recording for everyone else later on, put them in the comments. Let us know. We may already have a training on it. There's a solid chance that we do, but there's stuff that we haven't talked about yet, I'm sure. Awesome. Well, guys, I am so happy to have been here with you today. Oh, here we go. We got one. How to have more hours in the days to implement all this cool stuff. Well, you know what? You know what, Melissa? If you think about it, what you're able to do with GetOiling is to buy yourself more time, right? When you think about like, oh, we've got, you know, the PV promos coming up, that happens every single month. You should have a resource available for yourself that makes it as simple as possible for you to plug in a new thing so that it's done. So that that's one less thing that you have to spend an hour on every month. And then you just start chipping away, right? So think about the way that you're sharing right now. How does it take, like how much time does it take up and how effective is it? How profitable is it? What are ways that you can make that process easier? What are ways, and this is really important, what are ways that you can slim down the extraneous busyness, right? How much time are we actually spending scrolling through Facebook, looking at what other people are doing and not casting our own vision and motivating people to get in line, right? We don't do enough of what we're supposed to do. We are conditioned to believe that busy is good. And the fact is, you know, most of the time that we spend being busy is time that we really could have spent enjoying ourselves and living life. So have a plan in place. I guess maybe my final recommendation for you guys, get a task timer. I talked about this in last week's what was it? It was like a time management. I taught time management last week. youtube.com/GetOiling. It's the last one there as of this recording. Using a tool like Toggl, T-O-G-G-L, you can get that for free. It's a desktop timer. You can also get it on your phone. You can hit play on it and you tell it what you're doing. And you can actually see an audit of exactly how you spend your time if you're using it. Another thing, if you are using the GetOiling digital upline coach, you can actually see in graph format how much time you're spending on the actual profitable activities like inviting and showing the deal. You can actually see that based in real time on your entries into your contact manager of who you've contacted, who you've invited, who you've followed up with, and so on, who you've signed up. You get to track all of that stuff there so you can actually see like, okay, I feel like I've spent all my time this week on my business, but what have I actually done? And if you don't know what you've actually done, were you really working your business? How much of that time were you really spending on your business? What we often find is not that much. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Again, yes, you're hearing about lots of trainings. Those are out there, but just remember, you guys, don't load yourself down with training. Pick a thing and then do it. And if you haven't done the thing that the last training you were on taught you how to do, don't attend the next one. Right? Start guarding your time and just make sure that you are doing the thing that you said you would. Because when you show up, excuse me, you show up for a webinar, you are telling yourself, you're telling the instructor, you're telling the world, I'm showing up to learn this thing so that I can do the thing that it teaches. And what are you doing if you didn't do that? Right? What are you doing going to another training if you haven't done the one before? What are you doing going to calculus if you haven't gone to algebra 2? Right? I don't know if that's right. I've got a kid in school, so that comes to mind. Anyway, all right, you guys, thanks for being here. See you next week, and send us your requests, your suggestions, your wish lists for trainings that you would like to see. And if you have any tech questions, if you get stuck, we're here for you, info@getoiling.com. And of course, you can be here every Thursday at noon Eastern time, and we can answer your questions this way too. All right, you guys have a great week, and we will see you soon. Take care.